So walk me through. It's Friday night, the night after Thanksgiving. I assume you guys are at home, right? I mean, that would make the most sense. Do you hear the screaming? Do you see the running? What clues you in that there is something happening at Valley Fair?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to make dinner,
Mhm.
and somebody rang the doorbell and knocked on the door. Opened up, didn't know anything was going on at this point, and there were two frantic young ladies that were out of breath and couldn't get their words out, and they were stumbling over each other. There's a shooter at the mall, and can we come in? And they were just saying, "Can we come in?" as they were kind of pushing themselves in. So I let them in once I kind of realized that something really is not right, and then saw a huge group of people behind them running as well. And I just went out and just started to flag people in. Just come into my house, come into my house. This is bad. So
What was there ever any hesitation, thinking like, okay, these are I assume you're not exactly going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're just kind of letting people in. Like, was there ever any hesitation? Like, these are random strangers. They're coming into the sanctity of my house. Like, or was it just kind of instantaneous? Like, no, come on.
for just a second, maybe there was about 7 or 8 people in. I noticed they were all past the bedrooms, like going into the back of the house. And just for a second, I thought, am I being pranked or am I being robbed? Just for a second, until I turned my head this way down the street and saw a mob of people coming. And at that point, they were frantic too. You can see the terror in their eyes, and everyone was freaking out. So I just kept letting them come. I didn't know when it was going to end. We just got in, shut the door at some point, and my wife and my sons had just left to run some errands, and so they were gone for about 10 minutes when this all happened. And so frantically trying to get them on the phone, I couldn't get through.
Surprise!
Yeah. But
Trying to
we
order
finally,
50 pizzas?
yeah, exactly. So finally got through to them. They came home, got into the house, and then they realized that this is crazy. I mean, just people were everywhere on the floor, in the bathtub at some point, and just terrified.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Walk me through when you came home with your sons, you said, after running errands.
Yeah.
I assume you see a gaggle of people probably all around. What is
Yeah.
your reaction to seeing that?
Um,
Or did you know going in, like he called you and said, just be aware you're going to come home to something that's
Yeah.
a little crazy?
he told us, get home, there's a shooting. I have 50 people in my house. We were trying to call him, but he wasn't answering his phone. Obviously, he was trying to make sure everybody was comfortable. He was probably looking around like, where's everybody, people in my house? We walked in. My sons and I, my boys jumped out of my car like 2 blocks ahead because they were so anxious to get here. They wanted to see and help Martin. When I walked in, it was surreal because I just saw faces that I don't know in a level of fear that I've never seen before. And some people look like they saw a ghost, and they never actually calmed down. There was just some people that did eventually calm their nerves and start to talk, but it was scary to see these people and then just go, okay, what do I do next? Like, what can I do? Who do I talk to? There was just so many, and there was just people in the hallway trying to walk around them. It's almost like it was like a movie scene. And nothing prepares you for that. There's no handbook on what to do, and so we just started kicking in and said, okay. And then my boys were amazing too. But they just said, okay, what do we do? And said, it's like, okay, let's get them water. Let's get people comfortable. Let's get chairs.
In a way, you kind of wrote the handbook.
I guess, I don't know. It's just so crazy to think about it. But we did have every walk of life in this house here.
I was going to ask, was it, all young people, or was it also different ages, different races, different, heights, whatever you could imagine, everybody?
All of it.
Interesting.
All of it.
And I think that was the beauty of it.
Yeah.
There was so much division in our world, and to have all these people, unfortunately for a horrific moment, but there was a level of peace in here, and they felt safe. And I gained nothing out of it, but I just can feel the fact that they felt safe.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say you get nothing out of it. I mean, whenever we do something good for people, we always feel good.
Yeah.
When you're kind of investing that into your moral bank.
Yeah, for
it
sure.
does.
Yeah.
It does.
Hopefully the
feel good.
interest is collected. No, and I get, and this is going to sound like kind of a silly question, but I'm just curious, right? Did you notice anything missing after people had kind of left, or was everybody respectful?
No,
They were like, we just want to be here.
Not yet. I mean, We didn't notice anything missing, and I wasn't even thinking about that.
No.
But the only reason why I did think about it is because people had asked me that question.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, because you briefly mentioned earlier, okay, for a split second, am I
Yeah.
getting robbed?
Yeah.
Is this a television show? Is this
Yeah.
a prank channel on
Yes.
YouTube?
Yeah.
Well, if you were getting robbed, the two girls with doodle arms out.
It was two young boys. They were here. They had separated from their mom and their sisters.
Oh, gosh.
So they were hunkered into a store. The two young boys were here. They were friends. They go to school in Pennsylvania, and so they did. The reunification is a whole other story. People were like reuniting here, and then his sister and mom came, and they reunited and they hung out. They were the last ones that stay here. But one of the young boys, they actually handed us $100 bill and said, "Take this." And I said, "No way." They said it's just a gesture. So like they were actually giving instead of like thinking like that they were actually giving us. And I said that.
Yeah, I mean, people were communicating with each other, and the first group that found their loved ones that came from the mall, they actually asked our permission. Or my mother's here. I don't know what
Mother, yeah.
relative was, what the relative was, but they asked permission to basically leave, and because they're going to meet them out on the street, and then they were. And we kind of felt more like a parent, like looking out, making sure that there's somebody out there.
Well, I guess this is going to sound kind of like maybe an obvious question, but would you do it again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. What I think about is I would hope that if my family was in the same space, that someone would help my kids and even help us to seek shelter or feel safe. You know, if something bad was going on.
What you see on the news, it obviously can happen, right?
Well, you definitely didn't put it out there since the ambulances were already.
yeah. No, I know. I was
not
like,
on you,
oh my
yeah.
gosh, did I just like put it on the universe and then it happened? But no, it
More like the universe was passing by.
was passing by, yeah. But I actually had
And they
called
said
it.
she's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, I told my boys, I said, I bet you there was something in the mall. So we had two moms that had young girls and they're like, we're not going outside. Or I said, no, you're welcome to stay. And I said, you know what? We don't need any more updates. We've had updates already. Let's turn it off. And I told my son, I go, you can see he's got the Merry Christmas album there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, put on music. He's like, okay. And then I asked the girls, what do you guys like to watch? Just put on a Christmas movie. And they said they wanted to watch K-pop. And so I said, so we put on K-pop, brought out cookies and milk and water and tangerines.
I can't keep up. I agree. It's hard for me to keep up with each new group that comes out.
I know, like, I have no idea. And they said, still an active scene, get out of here. Maybe a couple hours. So they looked deflated. So we came back and I said, and as I'm driving, I said, are you guys hungry? And they're like, yes. And I said, I'm pretty sure my boys are hungry and those young girls are hungry. And I'm hungry, so let's order some pizza. And then we did.
Wow.
And we ordered like 3 pizzas. They came really fast. And one of the gals, she actually did a very beautiful prayer. And that's the group photo that you've seen. I don't know if you've seen the group
I
photo.
have not seen
I
the
did.
photo.
Yeah. And
It's on the link that I sent you.
Oh, good.
So
Thank
the
you.
little one.
Yeah, she did a beautiful prayer and just like, blessed that everybody's okay. And, it was really nice the way she said it. It's like, I'm like, are you a preacher? And she's like, no, I'm really good with prayers. And so we prayed, we ate pizza and we bonded and we talked and exchanged phone numbers at the end of the evening. It was now 11:30ish, I think. We're tired. Everyone's tired. They got their car back. And so, we exchanged numbers and the 3 families that were left were already trying to gather maybe January after the holidays and get together. I think I want to go back to the security thing and just make sure that people, I think they need to know, and then hopefully they're getting a lot of complaints. Like we've got to have this set up so that my kids go there, I go there. I want to make sure that if this ever happened, I know where I need to go. And
You're referring to the mall safety plan.
exactly.
Something where people don't have to throw bowling balls through the window.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,